Hello, people,
We're,
and welcome to another episode of Who's That Anime? It's been weeks, and
it's been at least a few weeks.
yeah,
I don't know exactly how many, but
a few weeks.
it's been a few. I can hear you on the stream.
All right, you
I'm
come.
just double checking. Yep, and I sound fine. So yeah, we're good.
Yeah, that's okay. So anyway, yeah, it's been a few weeks. It's been Easter. We're not religious, but it's been Easter.
Nope, it
Um,
has. It's been Easter,
and also you
and
might notice up there that, hang on, isn't mirror
yep,
logic this number
y-
here?
yep.
Yeah, that's right. That's how many days I've been born for. Days.
You've achieved it.
I've only been born for 40 days.
You you definitely were not. You weren't born yesterday, at least. So that's good.
That is very true. I was not born yesterday. I should probably not be watching this anime now and think about it if it's only been 40 days old.
It's. I don't know that this is suitable for anyone regardless of age. So I think we're just all breaking the law here. I wouldn't
Alright.
worry too much about it.
So we should dive into what, episode 8 is it?
No, episode 9.
Oh, it's 9.
So this is. Let me just double check this here. So we're on a third episode of looking at ghost stories. And in episode 1 we did episodes 1 to 4. In our podcast episode 2 we did 5 to 8.
Mm-hmm.
And then today we're going to discuss episode 9, 10, 11, and 12.
9, 10, 11, 12.
Yeah, so episode 9, diving straight in, is titled The Corpse That Roams in the Night, Shirotabe.
Nice.
And I remember, I think probably a good few weeks ago now, before I knew even what Ghost Stories was, uh, seeing clips from this episode and asking yourself was like, so that's not like this is just someone's edited this, right? It's like no, this is what this show is. It's like, oh yeah, that's something.
Yeah,
That is something.
it is very much something.
So this one, Satsuki, she becomes like a school pet keeper.
Yeah, she somehow gets voted in to help out the person that's been looking after the rabbits for years. Well, I don't know how long years is.
Uh, yeah. Is it Mio? Is Mio her name?
It's something like that. She's the character that they introduced this episode and never seen again.
Like that other guy that got crushed by the basketball hoop.
Yeah. Well, he got crushed.
That was Yeah, that's true. That's true. Although she's like I assume her name's Mio. She's a relatively big part of this episode.
Oh, yeah, she did.
Because the whole thing is that she's basically looked after the rabbits, the school rabbits, as you say, for years. But now there are more rabbits than she has time for, according to the teacher. The teacher's weird.
Well,
I don't like the teacher.
yeah, he is a bit weird because he makes some random comment and then just like actually it's like, oh yeah, great girls, but doesn't use the word girls first. He uses something like probably more politically correct and then corrects himself to be incorrect.
Yes. Yeah. They're definitely playing him somewhat perverted, as a lot of this show is.
Yes.
Um, they're definitely going for that. But yeah, already this is just it. As the setup to an episode, this is just not good for me. Like immediately, it just smacks of it's almost like they had a filler episode in a show that required no filler episodes.
Well, in the 21 episodes of the show.
Yeah,
Oh, actually,
It's like, God, it's been 8 episodes. We don't know what to do next. It's, I don't know, rabbits or something. Maybe that's a thing, right?
Yeah.
Can be, can be a thing. Um. So yeah, she becomes like a rabbit person. It's
No.
just this. This is stupid. No, she's not like physically a rabbit person. She like looks after the rabbits.
Yeah, yeah, she's a rabbit
She
caretaker.
doesn't like become Lola Bunny or anything like that. She just cares for the rabbits.
Yeah.
We're not deep diving into any weird furry territory or anything like that. Not yucking someone else's yum. Just even that would be pretty weird. But yeah, she ends up looking after the rabbits with Mio, and I don't know, like there's like a the start of this episode is like someone digging up rabbit bones or something in a really weird way.
Oh yeah, they're digging up a pet cemetery for bones.
Lots of Stephen King jokes as well, which was fun
Yeah.
for somebody called Stephen King. It's just like, yeah, I hope Stephen King's not watching this. It's like, no, he is. He's here looking at this right now. So
Yeah. Maybe not that
it's
Stephen
not
King.
good.
You don't have the power to sue
No, no, I don't. I mean, I suppose if they spelled cemetery correctly, then they would technically be good. So
him. They might. I don't know. It's technically all in Japanese, so
more to come on the idea of like the fact that this show cannot make up its fucking mind of it, whether it exists in Japan or not when they're speaking English. It is incredible the sort of internal struggle that this show has with like it's like, oh yeah, like typical things in Japan. Oh, that's weird. Just like being in Japan, and you're like, yeah, isn't it? Are you in Japan? Is this supposed to be in the US in this dub? Everything's written in Japanese. How are you getting around this? It's
yeah.
just
That's next episode though.
no, but like it's a consistent theme.
It's-
It's a consistent theme. Next episode, it comes to a head in the worst way possible. But yeah,
well,
it's just no, don't. We'll get there. But yeah, so like, there's the pet cemetery, and I think like Sasuke's like turning up for like first day of duty or something like that, and sees Mio in the forest being all weird.
yeah, and she was late. A while apparently.
Yes,
Well,
yeah. Oh wait. We're missing the bit where like Mio gives her like a weird rabbit keychain thing.
yeah,
Did that happen?
because she's
And she claims it's like, here, you can have this rabbit keychain. We used to be a couple, but we had a falling out. It's like, yeah, that's cool.
yeah. That's kind of the weirdness of it. I mean, I think it starts off mainly the episode starts off with her digging the someone digging up a pet cemetery, and
Yeah.
then it's like, have you never noticed that weird kid that sits in the corner of the classroom? And then it's just like, what? No, never noticed this kid. Then she comes in, the classroom's all empty, and it's like, oh yeah, there she is.
Yep.
And then
Oh
she
god.
passes a keychain because she likes making all these random keychain stuffed animal things.
Yes. And I think that's the reason it reminded me is like when she sees her at the pet cemetery, she's holding somehow she miraculously from maybe 300 to 400 yards away sees that she's holding a very small doll with her back to her.
Yeah, it's cool.
It should really be it's a physical impossibility.
There's many things that's physically impossible in this show.
True, true story.
Uh,
But yeah, she ends up like, what is it? Sasuke thought she was late, but then Mio is apparently she also apologizes for being late for some, because she was pet cemeterying.
yeah, she says, "Oh, sorry, I'm late. I see you got here before me." And then she was like, "What?
Yes.
I was totally here after you."
I didn't understand that, whether that was just like trying to like point blank deny that she'd been in the pet cemetery, or is there something like, no, she just doesn't remember being here.
Maybe it was never really explained ever in the rest of the episode. She was just a
It's
weird
not.
kid.
Yes, she's definitely a weird kid. Uh, but yeah, it kind of. I don't even remember much about this episode except for like the really bad and weird dubbing that comes with it.
That's just this show.
Yeah, yeah, but this is particularly egregious.
Yeah, was so I think it comes on to the like second day,
Uh huh.
and what's his name? The main boy.
Hajime.
Yeah, he comes for some reason. Can't remember why.
Yes.
And then he makes
No.
some random racist joke again. Pretty sure he does.
I don't remember this.
I think
I
it's
don't
something about
remember the random
Hispanics.
racist joke. Oh god. Fair enough.
Um, and she's there and looking at things, and then he recognizes like one of the rabbits that's in the cage. Or was that the third day?
Yes. It's this is but the rabbit is the one called Shirotabe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then anyway, so it like goes back and there's like a headline about some school rabbits are being massacred and eaten.
Yes, which is a weird thing to put in the paper. But well, no, I guess it's not a weird thing. Maybe the front page is definitely a weird thing to put a picture of, which
Yeah.
they seem to do.
Uh, and then I think that the rabbit appears, which is he goes, wait, that looks exactly like that rabbit. It died.
Yeah. Oh no, it's the only one that's left alive, isn't it?
No, because that was like another schools I was talking about. Had the
Oh. Okay.
and
I
then
see.
after that, like all the rabbits got massacred, and he was the only one left alive.
That's right.
Um,
And that's how they start to figure out that maybe there's something wrong with this rabbit.
yeah, and anyway, so I think ends up it breaks out again, turns into a big were rabbit because you actually
It
see it
does,
by
yeah.
this time, and it starts attacking people,
It does.
and then that words get around the village or town that they're in, and they're like, what? Uh,
I was definitely like that.
yeah, the episode doesn't fully make sense. I think, if I remember right, the whole show was like, yeah, you can change the dubbing, but you got to keep the names and everything, but also keep the
Yep.
moral of the story.
I don't like. I don't even want to hazard a guess at what they thought the moral was for this one.
Well, they tried to add a moral at the end of it, but we'll get to that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But they get. Do they end up in? They end up in the old schoolhouse, don't they? If I remember
Um.
rightly.
Yeah, because they end up running away from the big monster because they stake it out
And they.
at night.
Yeah, that's right. And then they go into the. They go into the old schoolhouse
Yeah.
because
Well,
we all know it's such a safe place.
yeah. Well, crazy girl, crazy one-time episode girl.
Mio. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think her
she
name's Mio.
she appears in front of them because they were waiting for her because they think it was her that was doing the killings or the rabbit. And then
Yep.
she goes, "I'm going to stand in front of this cage and put my hand out because I kind of know I raised you from the dead, but you're not going to attack me because that's not going to
Yep.
happen, honest." And then he attacks her.
Yep. Yeah, that's right.
And then they run to this old schoolhouse, and then they're like, "You got to throw that keychain thing away."
Oh, the thing that's binding him here, whatever.
Yeah, and then it gets like one of the
Ugh.
baddest lines in that episode. Oh no, I totally forgot
Wait,
about how she talks about playing with the rabbit because that's pretty bad too.
she does. That's the. Is that the bit where she's like having the weird like memory thing, and it goes, "Touch me." Touch me harder.
Yes.
I mean, like, it's just it's such a weird. I don't. It's difficult to articulate quite how weird that is.
It's fairly weird, that's for sure. And then,
Of course, we're getting to the gold here.
yeah, so the gold in this one is basically she throws away her keychain because that's the attachment that the bunny has with her. And
Yep, and it sort of breaks the spell.
yeah, well, she ends up saying something along the lines of, "It would never work to get with us, not because you're a rabbit, but because you're black." Now, I want to point out that the rabbit isn't actually black when it's like normal. It's only black when it's a big raging demon thing, black with
And
red
also,
fur on the
it's a
bottom of it.
rabbit. It's a rabbit. Like, I don't. I remember hearing that line in a clip video somewhere and just thinking, I wonder
Yeah,
why someone would do that to that show. And then I found out that that show did that to that show.
yeah, that show did do that thing to that show.
Ooh, it's yeah, that's a line.
Yeah,
That is a line.
and then that's it. That's the end of the rabbits. And then end of it is like, oh look, there's lots of baby rabbits. It came from the dead rabbit.
Oh, that's right.
And then she got really upset. You two-timing bastard, I think she ends up saying, or something like that.
She does. She starts having a meltdown because she's been cheated
Yeah.
on.
Oh, and then the teacher goes on about how the rabbits appear because
That's
of
right.
birds and the
Yep.
bees.
Yep. I
Uh,
hate that teacher.
and then there was another story about how one friend didn't want to get pregnant, but the guy didn't pull out and stuff like that.
Right. Okay. So I didn't imagine that. Right. There is a bit at the end of that where it just goes totally off piste and starts. The guy has the conversation. He's like, "Let me just run this by you kids," and like starts having a weird, yeah, a weird tete-a-tete with them about how a couple he knows are one of them's trying to get pregnant, the other one's not.
Yeah, and it's
What?
yeah, that's it's like well, it's kind of, that's the moral of the story. That's
Okay.
that's what they claim was the
That's
moral of the
yep.
story of this episode. But
Oh,
yeah, well, maybe not that bit, but there was something about fathers.
you know. So here's the thing: is that the one on a limited run series, one of the things I think that you would do best is to get people into the rhythm of like what an episode is. And like yes, there should be a like there's usually a formula to this sort of stuff. Like, oh here's the group, the Intrepid Ghost Hunters, and the lead female has this book that was written by a mother about how all the ghosts and how they all interact and all the rules behind them, and sometimes the religious one for some reason gets possessed by the mother to like help them guide them through the difficulties that they have. And instead, that sort of sometimes happens, and the rest of the time it just rambles about racism.
Yeah, yeah, it's not just racism.
No, no, I mean there's ableism. They just kind of they try everything.
Yeah, that show aired right, like in this decade slash end of the last decade. I think it have been heavily cancelled, and things will be happening to the production crew,
It's
and they wouldn't have jobs anymore.
it's definitely, shall we say, a product of that time, and no more. I feel like and I said this before, like, but it definitely does feel like somebody was like, "What if we just did like a mystery science theater for this thing, like, and just did whatever that, like, just really take the piss out of it."
Yeah, I think that's
And
maybe
they
what they
did
went
that.
with, but
Wow,
maybe they shouldn't have
amazing.
such racist writers and jokes.
I mean, that's yeah, It's definitely a consideration. So how did you rate this one?
This one,
Yeah.
I don't know. I suppose, like all episodes, they kind of fail in being episodes, and
Yep.
they're just random messes. So, how would I rate the random mess of this episode with this horrible, horrible, horrible script? Um,
Yep.
I think I'll go with four or three.
Uh, you think four,
Yeah, I'll go
three?
four.
I was gonna go with a three, so we're in the right ballpark.
I was synchronizing again this week.
Oh, okay. We move on to episode 10. This one, the tunnel with no exit. Anna Maneki.
Yeah,
Now, I felt that this one had some relative promise.
yeah, yeah, it did until you probably met the taxi driver. Anyway,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's as with a couple of them. I feel like they've made a really good effort with sort of like trying to set up something a bit creepy.
uh-huh.
Uh, and this one like does that with the introduction of the tunnel and stuff like that at the in the start with it's the workman, right, at this one.
Yeah, so the workmen are doing some work on like the alternative route that was open and that tunnel was closed off. And it
Yep.
starts off with workmen going, uh, hey, what am I do with these planks? Just move the planks, plank mover.
Plank mover, that's right. He
and
calls him plank mover.
and then they had a lot of was it your sister's jokes? I think.
There's a lot of conversation. It's like, why don't you just what is it? He says like something like, "Why don't you just get off me? Like I was on your sister last night." He's like, that's funny."
Yeah,
Just they're like, just terrible boorish assholes.
construction workers, man. That would be the sort of shit they would just come out with.
The stereotype. Yeah,
Yeah,
love it, love it.
that's
But yeah, they what is it that I'm trying to remember how that kind of turns around. So like, there's things in the tunnel basically.
yeah, yeah. So they open the tunnel and then they basically that's dark and scary, like, and then that's where it's like just like your sister or something like that.
Yep, that's right.
And then he'll show it, and then like they get in the car, and then they do like the other sister jokes, and then the other guy's like, "Oh, there's a guy. Oh, this is a Hispanic joke. Um, there's a guy behind us," type thing, flashing his lights. I'll just pull over. It's, you know, I think it was some Hispanic guy, and then the guy, cold, the passenger, in the passenger seat in the car is potentially Hispanic as well, because I'm sure they make a
Yep.
comment talking about him.
So I've remembered what the joke is now. Is or he makes a joke about the guy's sister and he goes, "What the hell are you talking about? We all know you're gay." And then like that happens, and then the taxi driver appears behind him. He goes, "Well, you're gonna love this in particular. He's right up my ass."
Oh yeah,
It's just like I remember this like this episode particularly because it was literally just awkward joke after awkward joke after awkward joke after awkward joke for the pretty much the first 5 minutes of the episode.
yeah, yeah. So anyway, they pull over and nothing happens to them,
Mm-hmm.
and then I think it essentially starts off with Hajime doing some readings on a temperature for a weather station or something.
Yes.
And he makes a joke about decimalization and how shit it is. I'll just put 100.
Yeah, he says. Yeah, he says it says something like 2.7.
Yeah,
So where the hell is this system? I've just put 100. Nobody cares or looks at this anyway.
yeah. And then he starts walking and then reach that sign that we were talking about.
Uh, yep.
Where he goes,
This.
there's a road sign. It's all in Japanese. Oh no, it's all in Chinese. No, wait, no, that's Japanese.
No.
It's
He says It's in Japanese. Ching chong ching chong ching chong ching. No wait, that's Chinese. And then corrects himself, just corrects the right racist slur.
Yeah. Then he just goes, "Oh well, at least I can read barricade."
Yes, at least I can read barricade. Which apparently he can't either because they berate him for that like 2 minutes later.
Oh, he read it. He went to the tunnel and then got chased by that creepy taxi guy,
I
and
suppose,
then he
yeah.
ran to
Oh,
the
yeah,
construction
well,
site and got berated for being in sight.
not being able to understand the universal red text.
Yeah,
Although, to be fair, like, the taxi driver's like, "Want to ride, little boy?" And he goes, "No, like in my cab."
yeah.
Or something, like, awful like that.
Well, he was still driving.
Wait, did
He
he not stop?
No, he didn't stop. He was driving when he said, "Want to ride, little boy?" And Hajime was just
He,
staring at
that's right.
it.
Oh,
It
man.
was like, what? He's not even stopped. It's like the weirdest.
No. I guess these are the bits where the show might have had some tension if they hadn't just thrown in arbitrary text. Or arbitrary dialogue, rather.
Pretty much, yeah. They're like,
Yeah,
how do you feel this bit? The guy obviously spoke.
I guess, maybe.
Yeah. Um,
Jesus.
it was kind of weird. So obviously Hajime goes back and tells his friends about the crazy taxi driver in the tunnel. And then
Mm-hmm.
the ghost expert boy goes, "Oh yes, that's that tunnel where a lot of people died." So they closed it off.
Yeah. Yeah, the tunnel is called Anamaneki. That's the name of the tunnel.
Yeah. Um, so then they go with him to the weather station and then head to the tunnel. There's like we got to go to this
Mm-hmm.
tunnel, and then they all get
Oh,
a
yeah,
lift by
because
the
he wants
taxi
to get
driver.
home. He wants to get home to watch his show.
Yeah, that's right. But he doesn't want to pay.
That's right.
That's the Jude
He is
rule.
deeply worried about having to pay.
Yeah,
But yeah, so they all end up in the taxi.
because they drives them into the tunnel and
And
leaves
this
them there.
so because this is the bit basically this is the creepy taxi driver because he recognizes Ajime from the day before
Yeah,
as well.
yeah,
Um and this is like this is another bit of like where I feel like they kind of did have an idea about like what was kind of creepy and stuff like that because obviously the taxi driver's like his face just kind of melts.
yeah. It melts and he's got like the just see the muscle and
It's
all
just
that.
like the muscle and stuff. Yeah, it's really cool. Like it's a good piece of animation, I think.
Yeah, they do that sometimes. Like they get that in another episode we'll talk about. Anyway,
Yes, yes they do, and they call it out as well.
yeah. So they can't follow them well for some reason.
Yes, that's right. Of course.
Moaning about it. Um, and don't you think that the scene where the taxi driver kind of looks around is like a scene from some other random technical horror movie? Like maybe I don't
I
know,
mean,
it was Ghostbusters or maybe Beetlejuice or something like that.
oh well, I mean there is that bit in Ghostbusters where the taxi driver looks around and he's dead.
Yeah,
He's a ghost. So maybe like I mean it could legit be like a one of those instances where they've like kind of done a shot by shot.
yeah. It's possibly where they got that one from. Anyway, so now they're abandoning this tunnel, and the shadows come for them,
Yep. Yep. And
uh,
they get
and they
kind
get
of
trapped.
slowly chased through the tunnel.
Yeah, I get trapped in the shadow world or whatever,
Yep.
and
It's kind of a dull world.
yeah, well, dullish. So Hajime and Christian girl can't remember her name either.
Uh, Momoko.
Momoko, that's it. Yeah, uh, awake together in a cemetery,
That's right.
and Hajime immediately goes, "Where's the others?" I'm going to go and do the characteristic thing for a horror movie and go by myself uh, all the way here. And then Monaco
Yep.
then basically states that he's such a heroic person, leave me alone in this graveyard. Something along those lines. And it's like, yeah,
Nice little bit of sarcasm there.
yeah, well, I don't know if it's sarcasm. It was pretty straight laced. Her character seems, oh, that's great. Not, not the brightest sometimes.
That's true.
Well,
Um, yeah, and I'm trying to remember exactly how this kind of plays out now because I remember sort of the ideas is that they're sort of being well, like I think the idea is that all of these the shadows are like basically the people that have died in the tunnel
yeah, I think that.
is the way this works.
And
Um,
and they're just reliving his memories. Because
yes,
Sasuke and Gitaro, I think, are in the house with his daughter and the taxi driver.
Jesus, yeah, and every conversation with them is just a winner, start to finish.
Yeah, yeah. Where she's like,
Like
"Oh, did you get drunk or something?" I can't actually remember half of them.
it's like what I say. You're home early. Did the bar close? And it's like, no, I still got drunk. And it's like, oh hey, like remember when I failed that test and you beat me so hard I couldn't walk anymore? Well, look, I did better. It's just,
Yeah, I cheated.
it's just, yeah, it's just every, every bit of that, and then loads of conversations because it's about is the mum his wife is dead, right? That's the whole thing.
I think so. Yeah,
And then he basically like talks to his daughter a lot about sleeping with exotic dancers and hookers.
yeah, yep.
So that's her life.
uh, and he says one of them's telling him he should get a test
That's right.
because she caught something.
Yep.
uh,
And then he starts doing impressions of her telling him how she totally doesn't have anything.
aye.
Yep. It's real rough.
Yeah, and then I think Hajime bumps into Leo at the funeral
Yes.
where he's getting cremated.
Yes. Yes.
Uh,
Because this has the second instance of bam.
yeah, well, no,
It,
the second instance bans after they do this, and so he's kind of draining the life force out of them. They're
yeah.
getting their life drained out because they slowly all start slump on the ground, break, and then Sasuke's mum comes in, talks to Momoko of all people.
Yeah, telepathic conversation with Momoko,
Yeah,
and she lies to. She says, "Like, is that you, Jesus?" It's like, "Yes."
yeah,
Ha! I'm only kidding.
yeah, yeah. Look at the turn your eyes to the superstar Jesus symbol or whatever it was.
Yeah, turn your attention to this Jesus Christ superstar thing we got going here.
Yeah. Uh, and then they all had to like break their tombstone, because it
Yeah,
using their
they had
power,
to
their imagination.
symbolically. Yeah, they had to symbolically break the tombstones in this shadow world to free themselves from the hold that the shadows had over them, or the shadow world. I'm trying to remember. Like I know, I can remember. I can remember Keiichiro's way of doing it. I can remember Leo's way of doing it. I don't remember anyone else's
Uh,
because they all do it in different ways.
yeah. Well, Monaco smashes it with a big stone,
Yeah. Okay.
which is kind of boring. Um,
Boring. Yeah.
Sasuke, she essentially goes, I don't have a good imagination, and then
Oh, that's right.
produces a big mallet and whacks it. Uh,
That's right.
I can't even remember what does Hajime use?
I don't know. I know Leo basically uses a bomb.
Oh, Hajime was in a digger,
A bulldozer.
bulldozer or something, yeah. And
That's right.
then
Yep.
what's his name was got riding the back of Godzilla.
Kichiro. Yep. Go Go Godzilla.
Yeah,
It was my favorite moment in this whole episode.
that's the best thing. Gives it extra points.
It was pretty good. Yep. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
And then of course they all kind of come to
Uh,
in the tunnel.
Yep.
Um. And sort of this is probably kind of get further into the backstory of why the taxi driver ends up,
Yeah.
luring people into the tunnel, I guess.
Aye. Well, he he comes and says, "Get in my taxi," and Leo's like, "Nah, I'm not getting you a taxi." And
Yeah,
it's like, and then Monaco just goes, "Get in the taxi,"
that's right.
and then so they all get in the taxi, and then he
Yep.
tells them the backstory of what happened to him. It's like, I got my test
Yeah.
back, and I passed. I didn't have any like um some SID STI.
I didn't have any SDIs or anything like that. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's sort of like it goes down that road of like one night he was driving down the tunnel, and all of a sudden, big truck
Yeah.
comes the other way into the tunnel, and then bang,
Bam.
and then he's dead.
Yep.
First, we use BAM to signify Chell getting hit by a car. This time, we use it to signify a lorry hitting car.
It's basically the noise of any car crash, isn't it?
Pretty much. I did enjoy the fact that, like, to signify the accident, like, it kind of. This has nothing to do with the dubbing or anything like that. This is just the show being, like, weirdly ham-fisted about how it shows it. And it's like, oh, here's the hubcap from the car and it's covered in blood. And it's like, how? How did the hubcap get covered in blood?
Well, he might hit multiple people.
I don't. Just. Did he explode?
He hit a truck. Trucks explode.
I just don't like. I could rerun the accident in my head a few times, and there's no incident where it's like, oh, yeah, there he is, like coating that hubcap in blood.
You never know. Maybe the truck exploded, causing him to explode all over the hubcap.
Maybe he got out the car fine and then just exploded.
Yeah.
It just didn't make any sense. I was laughing for a good I had to pause it. I was laughing for like 5 minutes at the fact there's a hubcap covered in blood from a guy who died in the cab of a car.
At the start or at the end? At the end.
It just at the end.
Because they show that hubcap at the start as well.
It didn't dawn on me really, like, because at that point you don't really see. It's more specific about exactly what's happened towards the end. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, for God's sake.
That's true.
Too funny. Too funny. But that's pretty much it. They get out the tunnel,
Yeah. And the taxi driver.
and Leo.
Well, I think they meet his daughter off to deliver flowers to the tunnel.
They do, because they're kind of walking through a forest on the way home.
Yeah, and she asks for directions
Yeah.
to the place that she's going to with the flowers.
Yeah. She asks for directions to the place her father. Is this the place where the guy died? Like, yeah, probably.
Yeah, some of that.
That's the one.
It's over that way.
Yep. Yep.
Uh,
Next to the bunches of flowers from some prostitutes and hookers.
maybe. Ah. Anyway, so that's the end of that episode.
Yep. How did you find it?
like I say, Godzilla earned it points. It was, I suppose, more of a story than most of the episodes so far.
Yep,
So
agreed.
I'm gonna go maybe a 6.
I think I'm with you on that one.
Yeah,
I
it's
It was
not.
a decent enough story for once,
Yeah,
which is kind of
that
nice.
that's not hard on that. Well, it's
No, agreed.
it's very hard.
Agreed.
Yeah. So we're
Good
on to
God.
episode 11 now.
Episode 11, The Talking Mary Doll, Shadow of Terror.
God,
It's me, Mary Mary. Mary Mary.
Mary, Mary, Jesus, oh
This,
Jesus.
this is, yeah, I don't like this episode. I'll just state that right now. I don't like it.
I don't know. So I think the episode is then starts off where they're walking down the street and
Kichiro.
Kichiro, it's runs ahead because they're arguing about something. I can't remember.
Yep.
And he goes, "Look, there's a doll," and apparently he wants the doll. Can I have it, Sasuke? And Sasuke's like, "No, it's in the trash, and you should be playing with
Yep.
dolls at your age." Something like that.
Yep.
And then that's it, left there, and then it kind of like they go to school, come back, and the doll's in Sasuke's house.
Yeah, it is.
Um,
And of course, they blame Kichiro for it, so.
yeah, he gets blamed. It's like you brought this doll back. I told you you can't have the doll. Well, I didn't do it.
And then he starts making some really loud, high pitched squealing noises as he does.
Yeah, and then she notices there's a dirty mark on the cheek of the doll, so she cleans
Yep.
it. That's
Mm
foreshadowing there.
hmm. So
Uh,
yeah, it's. Yeah.
and then so is it Kichiro? Did he throw it in the trash after she tells him to get rid of the doll again?
Get rid of it? I think he does, yeah.
Yeah, and then she is she gets a wakes up and answers a phone call and after what must be after 10. Yeah, it's after 10 because there's a joke about that.
Yeah.
And it's like, Mary, Mary, come out to play and in the trash or something.
Yep, I'm in the trash. I'm in your house. Like,
Yeah, it's like four
just
phone
like,
calls to telling her where she got to.
oh, it's amazing. Like, the phone calls are genuinely the best bit about this whole episode. They're so stupid.
Yeah, she gets like a smoker's cough as well, the doll.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's great.
Like, I love the fact that Mary Mary clearly kind of gives up at some points when she's like telling her what's up.
Yeah. Um, so anyway, she puts the phone down for the final time, turns around the room, finds the doll there and screams, and then the dad walks in and goes, "Hey, I thought I told you that you're not allowed to use the phone after 10 o'clock or something."
Yep.
And then he sees the doll and says, "Oh, you're not allowed to play with dolls after 10:15."
It's, yeah.
And then her kid
Mm,
brother wakes up and goes, "I threw that in the trash. I swear I did."
that's right.
And
But no,
and then the dad,
Mary Mary made her way back out.
yeah, then the dad picks it up and says, "I'm keeping it." Well, it's at crotch level.
Yep. And I think like I feel like Aminajaku sort of like foreshadows the danger of said doll, even though like nothing bad's happened specifically yet.
Possibly, yeah, yeah, I can see him doing that too.
And then um, I feel like is this the part where they like try they get because Sasuke and all the others do they not like they because it's like obviously not getting rid of by being in the trash. They try to get rid of it by leaving it with like other toys or something like that.
Something like that. I can't remember.
It's like because obviously and then like I don't know like the doll then sort of like commands a toy army.
Yeah, it it gets one. So
It
they
was
go and
feeling some
hide
Akira
somewhere.
vibes from that.
They go and hide somewhere. So
Uh,
they go to some old abandoned place, or they tell the teacher. Because the teacher got an
mm-hmm.
involvement in this one, where they take the doll um, to some. Oh, I got a place for this doll type thing, and takes it to like this priest who, but it's like it's not like a monk. They're not calling him a monk, but he's obviously
That
cast as a monk.
they take it to a place. It's like the oh what the fuck is it called? It's like this is what we do where we like play with dolls and stuff like that. But I think it's like a place where dead people's dolls or toys end up. That's where she amasses the army.
Yeah,
But I don't
but
think anything comes of that.
we skipped over an important part.
Did I?
Yeah. So we got so at school she gets a phone call from her
Mary,
dad,
Mary.
or the secretary told her, "Oh, you got better go to the hospital. Your dad's in the hospital now."
That's
Type thing, and
right.
both kids run to the hospital, going, "Oh no, you're gonna die!" Type thing. And it's
Uh,
like, no, it's not that bad, but yeah, he's got some injury from playing with the doll, apparently.
yeah, and of course, that's any excuse to not have him wearing his Sunday sweater he wears in literally every episode.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, talk about next episode. He wasn't wearing it in last episode that we were going to talk
No,
about.
no, that's true.
Um,
That's true.
yeah, so that happened, and then she goes to the roof, and no,
Why do they go to
no,
the
she's
roof?
she's in the office because she's got a phone call from the doll in the office.
Yeah, and yeah, but she was told it was a phone call from someone else.
Yeah, or someone's looking for you,
Which
type
is a wee
thing.
freak
Because
out.
obviously they don't know about the doll.
Yeah,
And then she slams it down as soon as it says Mary, Mary.
yeah.
And then
Yep.
the whole switchboard in the school lights up.
Yeah, actually, I will say that was actually really well done. Where like literally every phone, like in sequence, starts to ring into ring, and it like turns into this like cacophony of beeping and ringing. That was actually tense and creepy in a cool way. Like I say, like occasionally they do like they not the English dub, nothing to do with the English dub, but there's like this show does do stuff right, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, if you maybe watch the actual original Japanese dubbing, it might be a bit more edgy and not so garish.
Not so racist.
Yeah, that was being nice. I wasn't going to call it racist
Yeah,
this
no,
time. Um,
no, that's fair.
so then she runs on the roof, and then Hajime and Leo appears, and then Leo gets a phone call on his mobile. Or is it
Uh huh.
Monaco? No. Leo gets a phone call on the mobile, and it's the doll,
Yep,
and it says, "I'm on the roof now,"
that's right.
type thing.
Yep.
And then that's where the teacher comes up and goes, "What are you guys doing? Oh, you got this doll. This is a pretty cute doll. I know just a place for this place. Can I have it?"
And that's where they go to the
Yeah.
special place.
And that's how they get
That's when
there.
the toy army appears.
Uh,
Uh,
and then she hides out in the old school again. Is it? I don't think it's the old school.
I think I let's just say it is because why not?
It seems pretty much like the old school. And
It
then,
does.
uh, oh yeah, because she's home alone. Because the dad's still in hospital, so they go home alone, and then they're like, "Oh shit, let's get out of here," type thing, and then run away to this place to hide from the doll.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't have any phones or something. I don't know. Anyway, so there, the kid brother wants needs to go and pee, and Hajime tells, "Oh, just do it like something else," and he goes, "Oh, but it's a number two," and then he has a panic face on his face for some reason, and takes him to like the outdoor caddy, leaving Sasuke all alone in the building.
And then cue some hilarious fart noises.
Yep. Oh, can't get any better than Bottom though. Bottom's fart noises are the best.
But it's because Bottom's good quality humor.
It was good quality humor.
Oh no, I say it unironically.
I don't know. It's funny, and it was very humorous.
Yeah,
Good quality
yeah.
is.
Okay, yeah, maybe a step too far. It was entertaining.
It was
Let's say that.
entertaining. I mean, the whole point of it is it's meant to be terrible.
Yeah,
Literally
yeah.
just terrible, terrible people. Anyway, that's Bottom. That's something else, completely different from this show.
It's a classic. You should watch that.
Yeah,
Maybe
it's
instead of ghost stories, for example.
I think it was on Netflix,
What was it? I never actually picked. I
maybe,
should have maybe watched some of it. I haven't watched it in years.
or at least it'd be on iPlayer, BBC iPlayer.
Yeah, but we can talk about this because I think, and I'm just trying to remember this correctly. This is another episode where we don't use the book.
Yeah, it is. She doesn't use the book.
Nah, like why bother having the fucking book?
Well, it helps with 99% of the ghosts so far.
But it's kind of the premise of the show.
Oh, and Sasuke kind of is properly freaked out by the doll for some reason. I don't know why. I mean, she's dealt with like worse ghosts. She's seen the big fucking were-rabbit eating shit, and
Yeah,
then
she does seem to have a big problem with this doll for some reason.
bunch of zombies coming at her.
Yep.
Well, mirror zombies that wanted to drag her into the mirror.
So like, is this the bit where the Mary Mary and the other toys are sort of attacking?
Yeah, yeah. So Mary appears in thing, and then she brings out the shadows of all these other toys,
Yeah.
and start dancing around her.
Yeah.
And then
And then,
Momoko appears out of the blue, out of nowhere,
of course.
and claims that she was getting phone calls from the doll too, but
Yep.
her number's unregistered and she doesn't understand how she got the number. It was her joke.
It's priceless.
Oh, and also
Priceless joke.
Hajime and anyone else couldn't get into the building because it's locked.
Yep. That's right. So she's sort of stuck in there, and there's like a they're playing a game. Crap. What's it called?
Ring of Rosies.
It. I looked this up. Hang on.
All right.
Uh, Fact checking does absolutely not kill podcasts. Kagome Kagome.
Gomi Kagomi.
One player is the chosen Oni, or demon, or ogre, sits blindfolded, etc.
All right.
But the whole point being is that, like, in the end of it, it kind of nothing really happens.
No. All I know is I think Monaco, Monaco.
Momoko. Monocle.
Yeah, the Grand Prix. Uh,
Yep.
yeah. So I think I think she enters the fray into the building before the boys somehow. I'm not entirely
Uh huh.
sure. But anyway, so nothing happens at the fight because Sasuke drops her handkerchief. The same
Yep.
handkerchief she used to clean the doll earlier. Even though she went and
Yep.
and spat into the into the cloth, and she says that's kind of disgusting,
Yep.
but you cleaned me up, so I'll let you pass this time. I won't cut off your tits, I believe was the term that she used.
Yep. She did super say that. Yeah.
Yeah, and then all the other dolls kind of rioted at her, like, hey! And then she was like, "You don't get it. I'm the boss," type thing.
She basically like leaves apparently because she realizes that Sasuke wasn't having any fun apparently.
Yeah. I wonder why she wouldn't have any fun.
Yeah.
He just kind of like terrorized her for half an hour, or a number of days.
Oh.
But yeah, yeah. So basically, she then meets the cat up on top of the roof, and they have
Yes.
some random conversation that I can't remember. Maybe setting a plot for foreshadowing for another time in the series.
Potentially, but I mean, it shows you how important and how memorable it was that neither of us can remember at all what that conversation was.
I was struggling to remember most of this episode.
This episode and the next one, uh, not sticking particularly well in my memory, even though I watched them more recently and more frequently than the previous two episodes.
Wow, I only watched these once.
I watched. I actually felt that the first two I knew enough about to talk about relatively, and then the second two I didn't get enough from watching the first time, so watched them again, and I still don't understand or remember much of them.
Well, you gotta remember that they changed like the entire script for the show, so getting
Yeah.
anything from it other than whatever they put in, it's kind of hard. But yeah, so I generally watch these episodes. I try to watch them on the day that we do the recording, so I only need to watch them
Okay.
once, and also have a clearer memory. So it was only yesterday, literally yesterday, I watched it because we didn't get recording last night as planned,
I rewatched episodes 11 and 12 yesterday.
and I watched 12 today.
Man.
Yeah, which is next episode. Anyway,
Yeah.
so that's the end of that episode. Oh, it was to get about Hajime jumping through a window.
Jazzy. They jump through a window.
Right at the end, he jumps through something, and Monocle goes, "Why did you do that for? That's really stupid and reckless." And he goes, "What do you mean?" And then he starts bleeding from the head.
Yes.
And that was after everything's done and dusted.
Yeah, everything had died down.
And then he jumps through the window for some comedy gold. And that's even in the actual original anime. That'll be what that's all about.
Yep. That's fair, I guess.
Uh,
Every now and then.
yeah,
Okay. What's this one for you then?
rating this one, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Like I say, I probably remember what happens in it over what's actually been said. I can't remember any memorable, horrible jokes. It was actually quite tame, this one, I think, in that regard.
It was. I at least the like. I think the thing that made it funnier for me was I thought the Mary phone calls were funny. That was about it though.
Yeah, she getting worse and worse with her smoker cough. It's like, I gotta give these up
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Uh, I suppose the worst thing about it was the dad having misusing the doll. Apparently, was the joke of the dad getting into hospital.
It,
And that's why he's in the hospital. That would be the horrible bit of the show. Anyway, rating the show, it's pretty meh. and
Yep.
I think I'll put this to a three.
I might go as low as a 2 on this one.
It was just nothing.
It was. It's like the 2 points for me is they did one cool horror thing and the Mary Mary phone calls, and the rest of it's just trash.
Oh come on, man! You've rated other things higher without any of the cool stuff in it.
But I've remembered those ones.
Well, you've still got 10 episodes left.
Yep, don't remind me. Episode 12.
Straight on to episode
The
12.
nurse who tells you your death. Mother's feelings.
Yeah.
Uh, so this one. Yeah, okay. So this one is basically about a mysterious nurse that kind of
Yeah.
appears before Kichiro and kind of haunting him. And it's a little bit creepy in like a good way. Like it does a good job, I think, of doing like that factor and stuff. But
Yeah.
uh, it's and I suppose this I should say as well is this is one where the book comes into some sort of use.
Yeah. Yeah. She finally decides to look at the book. So the start of it is kind of weird. Like there's like a sports day
Mm-hmm.
thing, and then apparently he goes out. He gets put into the nurse's office because he
Yeah,
shouldn't have been exercising like so soon.
because he was going to throw up or something.
Yeah, it was just like, oh, he's in hospital placements.
Yeah,
I mean, the whole show's been like that though. And
yeah.
then he sees the ghost and gets scared and tells everyone about it.
It's a really good bit though because it's the he looks out the window and sees the ghost and only half like the it's a very sort of it reminded me of Project Zero 2 or Fatal Frame depending on where you're from,
All right, yeah.
the Crimson Butterfly, where there's the scene where you open the door and it's just half a face that you see through the crack in the door. I always remember that scaring the absolute crap out of me as a kid. So like I got the kind of the tingly sort of that's creepy vibe from that, which was really good.
Well,
It was pretty well done.
yeah. I mean, it's kind of seems to be like a general Japanese horror thing because it
Yeah,
seems to happen in a lot of
it's
things.
pretty.
What is it? Fatal Frame One
Yeah,
did
I
that
mean,
too, or something.
they probably did. It's just the Crimson Butterfly is a more memorable one for me, and like you probably there's analogs to that in the Ring or the Grudge or the Eye. Um, yeah, like
Yeah,
there's a ton of like things that have that kind of horror, but
but
yeah, it works. I think as a creepy moment for sure.
I do know I've seen one of their clips. I don't know if we passed it or not, but there's a big reference about how many more rip-offs of The Grudge can we do, or The Ring. We had like five of them
uh,
really. So one of the
True.
quotes maybe coming up.
But yeah, I seem to remember Kichiro says that there's a transvestite running after him.
Yeah, he calls her the transvestite nurse. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, just the nurse is
because
kind of drained of life and like
yeah, I mean
sad, and then they
yeah,
call it the Grim Reaper nurse or something like that. The curse nurse.
the cursed nurse because they think that essentially it's like the Grim Reaper of the hospital.
Yeah, yeah. So the story goes something like, oh, there's one kid in the nurse's office. He wasn't doing so great, and then this random nurse appeared, and then he flatlined.
Yep,
Uh,
that's right.
but that, and then Saskia was like, "No, I don't believe in it," and then runs away type thing, because of no reason, because it's not explained at all in this episode.
So Yeah, because the way this goes is essentially I can't remember why, but they end up in the hospital that Satsuki's mum was in.
Yeah, yeah. So for that, they have a lot of flashbacks and talks about her mom planning like it seems to be like a backstory thing for the mum episode. Um,
Yeah, because they have lots of conversations with Momoko, who, of course, knew Sasuke's mum from a conversion camp.
yeah,
Yeah,
uh, that's right. But like for that, so he goes there and then he's waiting on. He's like having weird dreams about the nurse as well. Like he's dreaming that he's
yep.
with his mom and his mom's telling him about the apple juice and how it gives him extreme gas, but he still drinks it anyway. And then he's
That's
going to make a
right.
pinky promise with her, and then the ghost nurse
Yep.
grabs him, and then gets pulled away into the light. It's,
Bernascu's like, "This is come on, just pull my finger. It's really funny."
yeah, I'll make a noise that sounds like a fart.
I did actually laugh at that. I probably shouldn't have, but yeah, I laughed. Like that whole scene was really ridiculous.
Yeah, it was that, and then he wakes up
Um,
screaming, and then he and they live in a bunk bed apparently, and he's in the top bunk.
yeah, because she says she's trying to sleep.
Yeah, and then he just goes blah 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 to her type thing, and then she says, "Get a grip! It was only a dream." And then, but with like such a soft face, and then goes all angry at him for some
Yep.
reason.
There's the is that the same bit where he's like, but I'm afraid of it's not a transvestite. He does they do call it a transvestite nurse later on, but it's is it a cross dressing nurse or something like that? It's like
Yeah, I think you
or
might make it
or
that point.
she-male. It might be a she-male. There's lots of like these kind of references.
Oh yeah,
It's
well,
like, oh, you don't have to worry about them. You have to worry about priests or something of equal magnitude horrible.
yeah, I think maybe. So what else? So to do that, wakes up. Well, the dad. They had another scene where they talk about the dad. Dad talks about how the dumplings or something about reminds him of his mum, but she can cook for shit or something like that. I think she ends up saying
That's
something
right.
along those lines. She's so much better than her mum cooking, and then she has a
Yep.
flashback about cooking the dumplings and squeezing out all the mince within the kitchen. Uh, and it gets the next morning, and she's cutting away, like some preparing for things, and the dad, not in his Sunday jumper, not his
Yep.
Sunday best jumper, by the way. We're not talking about that. We're
No, no.
we're
Literally a jumper that says Sunday on it.
literally a yellow jumper that says Sunday on it. He's in like some shirt of some sort. Must be getting ready
That's
to go to
right.
work, and she's complaining about the kid brother keeping her awake all night. Blah blah blah,
Mm-hmm.
and he says, "Ah, I can't really go into it. I'm too hungover." Uh, and then
Of course, because he was drinking to the memory of his dead wife.
yeah, he was drinking himself to sleep over his dead wife.
Yep.
Um, and then she goes, "Well, no talking then, because I've had no sleep and I'm standing here with a knife."
That's right. She threatens him. I forgot about that.
Yeah, she literally threatens her dad. So what? And and then it goes to school and she's late or something coming back and kid brother sees
Mm-hmm.
the nurse again looking at him from the second floor of the school and then disappears
Yep.
as everyone else gets there and then Sasuke tells him to shut up or something and go away and then he runs away crying and then um, the next day she's hanging out washing in the back garden and talking to the Hajime mum, I think, with a deep
Oh, yep.
a deep Western
And a
Texas
southern
voice.
accent. Yep.
talking about how her husband's not should get a job and get a dryer or something like that.
Yeah,
And then he's like,
that's a
nah,
weird scene.
that'd be good because but all he does is get drunk and comes home with lipstick on his collar, stuff like that. And it's like I, it went on a tangent with some random Western voice acting.
Yep, definitely an odd bit. I don't know. I don't know what happened there, but yep,
Yeah,
we got past it.
and then kid brother runs off to the hospital for some reason. No reason why we're going to this hospital in the English dub anyway.
There really isn't, is there?
No, he just runs off there. I mean, there's no explanation about it and that. But I'm assuming what happens in this episode in the real dub is actually maybe coming close to the mother's uh, uh year, the day she passed in the future, and they're all having
Mm-hmm.
sentiments, and Saskia getting upset because she's missing her mother and stuff like that. Hence why all the
Uh, that would make sense.
weirdness. I think that's what this episode would probably be in a proper dubbing. But no, there's no no reason to go to the
There's
hospital
none of that.
where she
But
died.
yeah, this is the part where it's like sort of we get introduced a bit more about uh, the conversations between Momoko and Sasuke's mum, and the fact that turns out that Momoko was just a massive drug fiend,
Oh yeah, she
and
was totally addicted to everything. I believe she was also addicted to sex. Was also
yep,
something that was mentioned. Drugs and sex and alcohol maybe.
yes, and there is a bit, just a creepy bit where the mum, like, I think gives her food, and then starts like weirdly chatting up this child.
Yeah, yeah. Because also this is like I don't know how many years ago, but yeah. And then
It's
talks about
20 years
how
ago.
she was a dyke, but then she wasn't a dyke. I shouldn't be really using that term. Super show.
Yep. They use such colorful language in this show.
Yeah. Anyway, the mother was apparently a bi because all she
Yep.
managed to have two kids,
Yep. That's right.
but she didn't have two. No.
She did.
Yeah, she did. Well, sure, Monaco, not Monaco, Christian girl as
Omako.
yeah. She sure she stated that she didn't have kids at the time or something, but then she did. But then it can't be true because the
Oh, she did.
flashbacks show that there is around about the time she passed.
Yeah, that's weird. I don't know.
Um, anyway, it doesn't try and make sense.
The
To the
dubbing
show
is
is just
failing us.
pointless. uh,
And yet here we are on episode 3 of how many episodes is this going to be? Hang on.
5.
1, 2. Yeah. We got 2 more of these to do.
Well, it's just looking forward to it. Eh?
We're gonna have spent 2 months of our lives talking about this.
Well, that's only because we decided to take a 2 week hiatus on this one.
Yeah, and I don't feel the better for it because I've spent 2 weeks with this show festering in my brain.
What are we going to do next week? Or after this show? But anyway, let's talk about that later.
Oh, that's a good question.
Uh,
So
yeah, so
that
basically, her and Sasuke go to the hospital after the brother, who's there with the cat.
mm-hmm.
And this hospital seems to be abandoned, pretty much, because the kid can just run around and get into the room that her mother died, who's, looks like a private room.
Yep.
And no one's about to stop him wandering around and going, "Hey, what are you doing here,
No.
kid?"
No hospital security at all.
Yeah. Um.
I think but at this point, Sasuke's already read the book, and it says in there that basically the idea is that this nurse, the cursed nurse, is like the Grim Reaper, and that she's potentially looking to be harmful to Kichiro. So, she goes after him.
Yeah, and she reads
Um,
the spell to get rid of her.
Now, I'm going to try. Is it something about the patient is fine? We're all good here.
Pretty much. It's not like the patient. There's no illness in this patient. There's no illness in this patient. You say it twice.
Oh, you got to say it twice. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's right. But then, of course, that does jack shit. So
Yeah, well, we find out the reason that at the end. Anyway, and the mother says that she's banished it, and then Sasuke goes, once reading the book, goes, oh, if you weren't already dead, I would kill you. So she wants to kill her mother, her dead mother as well, apparently.
yep. After stabbing her dad to death for annoying her while he was hungover.
Yeah, so it's happy days in this family, it seems. Um, so they get to the hospital, and then they run in the waiting area of the hospital, and then a Spanish nurse appears and tells them not no running in the corridor, I believe, in Spanish.
Yep. And then she yells back at them in Spanish. She yells back at the nurse in Spanish.
Yeah, type thing, and then there's some running conversation in Spanish, and then she just runs off, and the nurse just kind of looks upset, throws her arms down beside her, goes. Psh. Um, Meanwhile, Sasuke's sitting in his mother's room, reminiscing about
Mm-hmm.
things, and then there was a flashback where he was trying to buy a carton of
Trying to
juice.
buy apple juice. Yep.
Yeah, and then Monocle comes in and goes, "What do you want, kid? What are you doing? What's wrong?" I think without any passion, and goes,
Yep. And it's the you got to learn how to do things for yourself, and he gets all upset, and she's like, "For fuck's sake!" Just pushes the button.
"Yeah, pretty much." Almost like I'm too short to reach the button.
Have your damn apple juice.
Yeah. Um. We forgot about the whole horrible. Oh, there's a couple of horrible jokes with the dad. One is the dad is once again doing some referring back to the previous episode where he was going to
Yeah,
parents' night or something, and he says, "I can't throw myself there, not after this fiasco with the doll."
that's right. And then she's like, "Yeah, but you could go." And it's like, "But that's why I'm asking, and that's why I shouldn't go."
Yeah.
So
And the kid brother runs away at the dinner table at that point and goes, um, "Don't go."
yep.
I said, "Fine, I won't."
wasn't planning to.
Yeah. And then there's another point where Sasuke has a flashback about the hospital and goes, remembers her dad going, "This only ever happens once," and runs into a room with all the female nurses.
This is a once in a lifetime thing,
Yeah,
and just like, but yeah, bails into a room with four nurses.
yeah, and the wife, I believe, and essentially just basically make another sex joke with him. I mean, at least he's above age.
Yep. That's
And
true.
all
I
the
mean,
nurses
of
potentially.
all the things you can say, like I feel like at least they're of age is maybe like the lowest thing you can say is I guess this is all right.
Yeah, I mean, you shouldn't really explain it to your daughter, who's, I don't know,
No, I guess.
not of an age to really understand. Anyway, so those are the horrible scenes of the show of this episode. Uh,
I suppose we should get to the bit where it kind of wraps up.
yeah. So kid brother walking along the corridor with the cat because obviously, sure,
Cat's here now
there's no one in this hospital except for that one
because he
nurse.
ran away with the cat.
Yeah,
I forgot about that. The cat was in the bag.
yeah. Um. And then the nurse starts chasing them down the corridor, and then Sasuke and the other people catch up in the corridor, and they go,
Yep.
uh, "No, he's not ill. He's not ill." And then Nurse K keeps coming,
Yep.
and he goes, oh. And then, is it the cat? It comes in and says, oh, don't worry about her, she's not going to kill you, type thing.
Yep.
And it's like,
That's it.
alright. And then she disappears in a flash of light and lots of golden dust. And then the cat makes a comment, it's like, oh, quality animation.
Yep. And it's weird because I was looking at it going, oh, that's quite nice animation.
Yeah, that's good animation, that. And
But I
then,
think the whole thing was is that not a Grim Reaper, but more sort of a protector.
yeah, yeah, she had a
Like
message
the
from
nurse was
the
the
dying mother.
yeah yeah yeah, that's right. When she disintegrates, she leaves a card.
Yeah, and then the dad turns up because he also read the note that the kid brother left. And he's not in
Yep.
his Sunday jumper still. He's in a suit.
You're right. Yeah.
Because, yeah, I think they were meant to be going to, like, to the grave of the mother.
That would make sense.
Um, but anyway, so he appears and they're having this, and then she's reading this and saying, mother's, um, what do we call it? Basically has a dialogue with a note saying how she's really high on this and she's not going to write anything meaningful in this letter because she's too high.
Yep.
But she did love the father still, type thing, and there's no issues. And I hope you found my diary. I don't remember where I left it. Was one of the things that was written in the letter, because and there was a photo album where
Oh, yes, because that actually there's a good joke in that. It's like, I hope I didn't include that picture of me in the pink suit. Oh God damn it!
yeah,
She's really angry at the inclusion of this picture of her wearing like a pink suit.
yeah. And then she also makes a comment about the dad being cross-eyed. He always cross-eyed in his pictures. I think.
That's look, he's doing it right now.
Yeah. Oh,
That
she's
was
getting
actually
so upset.
genuinely funny.
Uh,
That was a good funny segment.
yeah.
That bit.
And then at the end of it, the kid brother can go to get a carton of apple juice.
That's right.
And look,
All
I
by
can press the
himself.
buttons now, type thing. And then,
And
but he asked the dad to open it, and he goes, "I open it. You know I'm not good with shapes." And father just goes, "No, do it yourself."
that's right. And then he does, and then they all cry.
Yeah, and they'll cry. And it's like, what? What's wrong with the ending of that?
Ah,
Such a harsh
amazing.
episode.
Symbolism.
So
Symbolism.
yeah, so that was that episode.
Okay. Jesus. Right. What you got?
The rating time.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's fresh in my mind and it has some, I suppose, good points in it. I'm going to maybe bring this up to a 5.
Okay. Okay.
Not a great episode, but trying working out where they had it, what the episode's
Yeah.
meant to be. I
I'm
think
not
was
going as far as a 5, but I'm gonna go with a 4.
4.
Yeah. I think there was more humor in it that landed this one. And the occasional, like, reasonably creepy bit. Less a fan of the completely ruining any resonance of the story by just shitting all over the characters in the script.
Yeah.
It's just complete irreconcilable nonsense, for the most part.
Yep.
But yeah. Yeah. Good times. Good times.
Good times.
Okay. So your average
Uh-huh.
is a 4.5. My average is a 3.75.
Oh. I, I rated the other
Although
ones
we
high.
both did give a 6
I've only one given a
to
6.
episode 10,
Yep, I give
The
that a
Tunnel with No
6.
Exit. That's a good episode, I think.
Yeah,
Fairly well measured. Only some shitty jokes.
only some for once.
So that's that. I suppose we should do some housekeeping. So we did try to record last night, but we did have some recording issues because Colin has changed his PC.
Hmm.
Got that fixed now, though. It seems sort of.
Certainly got audio that I can make fixed, and the audio that
Yeah,
you're making is good. But
it makes noises, which is good.
audio on my headset is terrible.
Yeah, you should get a new headset.
I'll Yeah, I'll test it on something else first.
Might be worthwhile, like making sure that the noise coming out your speakers is fine.
Yeah, the noise in the speakers is fine.
Yeah, that's if the noise in the speaker's fine and your headset's not going well. Yeah, that's probably the headset.
I'll move it to another port. I'll stick it in the back.
See how you go. Fair enough.
Yeah.
So, but what I think we're gonna do is we're gonna move recording to a Sunday night,
Yeah,
rather than a Thursday. So we'll be back on the. Let me just look at the calendar. The
18th.
18th.
Yeah.
And are you going to be doing any other streaming this week?
No, don't think I will. I usually do it tonight. Busy tomorrow. Wednesday, don't know. Don't know, unless you want to do some Hunters thing.
There's always potential to do some Monster Hunter streaming, so you can see that coming up maybe in the next couple of weeks on Couch Fuel on Twitch.
Yep.
Other than that, I think it's pretty cool to see like we have some people listening to this like on the podcast form, which
Yeah.
is nice. If you use Facebook, maybe you want to join our Facebook page. It's just if you look for Who's That Anime in the search bar, you'll find us. I, for some reason, cannot get a customized URL for that page. I do not know why. Yeah, very annoying.
Oh well. I mean,
But
yeah, we post things about episodes, I suppose, in there.
yep, we'll share when the new podcasts are up and things like that. Sometimes give news of when we're actually going to be streaming. But yeah, it has been fun, feeling fresh, back from our 2-week break.
Yep.
And we'll be back to it in less than a week.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
with episodes
good old ghost stories.
ones. Yeah, 13, 14, 15, and 16. And then a mammoth last episode to cover 5 episodes.
In the 5. Because it ends at
Yeah,
21,
it's gonna
apparently.
Yep,
Oof.
lucky 21.
That's going to take me just over 2 hours to watch.
So, interestingly, I'm looking at the episode listings here. They all have the dates of when they aired. And episode 20 aired on the 25th of March 2001. And episode 21 was unaired.
Oh, episode 21 was unaired.
This was originally the 3rd episode, apparently, and was supposed to be broadcast on November 5th, 2000. So, the show will wrap up, and then we'll talk about a random episode that never got aired.
Sure, sounds about right.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yep.
Gotta love it.
Those airtimes the Japanese airtimes?
I assume so, because there's lots of references to stuff in this show that are like 2005, 2006.
Yeah, because I thought it was like a 2005 thing for the English dub anyway.
Yeah, that seems about right in terms of the airing, the kind of references and things they're talking about.
Yeah. So, because we only got 2 episodes left, we better start talking what we're going to do next.
Good question. Have you had any thoughts?
Wow, I did have one in this episode where we're talking about random boring episodes.
Uh huh.
And there was an anime series that came out. What was it? I never remember the name. About the wonderful thingy woman, and it had like the meme of the dance and everything in it. Let's see if we can find it. Bring that up. Bring this up. Um, anyway, they did a second season, and part of the running of the manga, there was a story about something like the Miraculous Eight, and it's about the
Okay.
basically they reliving doing the Groundhog Day thing,
Okay.
and yeah, anyway, I don't want to ruin it for you because apparently it ran way too long for what it was and ruined the season.
What was it called?
Oh, um, I don't remember. I don't remember the show's name.
It's fine. Right. We'll tease it. We'll tease it. Let me have a look at it, and I'll see if I can maybe stomach it.
Yeah, it's fine. We'll just watch the second season because, like I said, there's two seasons,
Oh,
and it was a cult following on the first season, and then the second season
maybe
came out.
maybe we should watch. Maybe we should watch the first season, but not talk. Maybe do one episode to like set it up.
All right, watch the first season, the 24 episodes.
Yeah, and like talk about it
Okay.
for one episode, just to kind of like get an idea about how much we enjoy it, and and then just tear it all apart.
Yeah, we'll see if it goes. Apparently, yeah, it's like the cheapest production they could have ran in anything for eight episodes.
Amazing. Perfect. Right, that seems like a good place to end this shit show.
Yeah, join us on Sunday the 18th for who's that anime episode 7?
Yeah.
For more ghost stories and see what other non-political correct things they can say.
Which is a lot, apparently. So,
Anyway, we'll catch you next week.
bye, folks.
Bye.